Hi everyone, welcome to my next video. This is another one on CoinOps. This is actually a bit of a showcase as well, a bit of a review I guess of CoinOps Collections. So I've been looking at this because I've got an old arcade cabinet that I built probably a couple of years ago now, running an old Raspberry Pi, and I'm currently running in Batasera. But it's it's a little bit underpowered, and I want to possibly replace it with a mini PC inside there running Windows. So I've been looking at CoinOps, and I really like what I see. It's really slick, really nice, very nice front end, a whole bunch of artwork in there, and yeah, just really well put together. So this is a quick demo, I guess, of the CoinOps Collections I've downloaded. So you download the base pack, if you like, that's got a whole bunch of systems and consoles in it, and then some of the larger systems, kind of disc-based systems like Dreamcast, PlayStation, PSP, Saturn, Wii, GameCube. They come as additional packs that you download separately. They're sort of probably there's 30, 40, 50 gig each. So they kind of separate them out because if they put them in the base download is about 180 gigs, something like that. It's about 160, but it expands out a bit bigger. So if they did, they did a whole lot in total. I think it comes to something like 500-600 gig, half a terabyte. So yeah, you can understand why they split it out. Especially once you've got it downloaded and extracted, like I say, the neat thing about it is it's all designed to run, be self-contained, all run within its own folder, which could be on your internal hard drive, could be on a USB drive. As long as it's decent speed, as long as it's USB 3 and it's a decent enough speed drive, you should be fine. I've got here a USB drive, a D drive with the CoinOps Collection folder, everything contained inside it. And you'll notice there's actually a couple of exes that you can use to start it. So I'll quickly show them. So we start with the basic one. So basically they all contain the same collection of games. They don't differ from one to the other. It's just about the layout and the different filtering you've got. So this is the standard one. You've got all games here, arcade classics, then the various systems, your Amiga, etc., Atari. There's a whole bunch here. I'll go through this one quite quickly because obviously we'll be launching this a couple of times. So you can see here's all kind of the systems. Goes up to Wii, PlayStation, PS2, even PS3. So yeah, large number of systems in here, which is I guess why they called it collection. It's got quite a lot. And so you can see you've got the arcade, and then basically all the systems is what you've got. So we'll just come out of this one quickly, and then we got the next one up is arcade, but with various genres as well. So you see what I mean on launch it. So interface is all the same. Like I say, all the same games are there. It's just the layout. So now we've got arcade classic, and now we've got some genres for the arcade. So old school stuff, beat 'em up, run and gun, fight games, shoot 'em ups, racer, puzzler, sports, gunner. And then we move on to the same systems again. So you can see that you've got now a bit more breakdown of the different arcade games. And then finally, and this is the one I tend to use because this especially shows everything. It shows all those genres, but then also shows arcade games by manufacturer, which is pretty good. So we'll not just want to have a quick look through. So again, we've got the arcade classics, and we've still got the same genres. I'll just flick through those quite quickly. Now you see we've got things like Capcom Classics and Cave and Data East, so it's all the different manufacturers, Midway, Namco, all the ones you recognise, especially all the arcade games made by those people, all collected in there together. So actually we'll go into one of the arcade wheels, have a look through. So you can see this is the kind of the default layout, really nice. It's got the wheel on the right hand side, all the logos. And you'll notice as you flick through each game, like I said, a whole bunch of artwork. So you've got the logo itself, you've got the background artwork on the right hand side there. Obviously you've got the video gameplay playing on the cabinet. But if you look at the cabinet itself, as I flick through, the cabinet actually changes per game. So they've actually got a cabinet per game, which is pretty cool. Obviously this is for all the arcade systems. When you get into the game systems, the consoles, the cabinets and the pictures on the left hand side are a bit more generic. So this is kind of like the full-on interface, if you like, with all the artwork per game. So you'll see there's actually, if I come back out, there's an option in advanced configs here. You can change the layout. There's a whole bunch. It's a nice thing. They've got a whole bunch of batch files. You should just double click to make changes. You don't have to go in and find settings and change. They've done it all for you. So you've got 4 themes that you can choose from. The default is the cabinet wheel. Is just showing you cabinet wheel fast. If I double click that, it copies some files around. And then we go back into the same thing. More this thing, I think this is more kind of a maybe slightly slower systems. So you'll see now as I flick around, the background image doesn't change; it stays as standard Street Fighter one. Just to kind of speed things up, I guess, on slower systems. And then when you actually go into a system, you'll notice now, if I hold down and scroll through, the background image on the right hand side doesn't change until I actually stop. Whereas on the normal one, when I was flicking through like this, it would change. Yeah, it's just to kind of, I guess, speed up a little bit. And then just for completeness, show the other couple of themes. Go back in advanced configs, and you've got marquee. Double click that. Come back out. Run the exe. Now let's go to Arcade Classics. Now we've got, so the left hand side is obviously the same with the cabinet, but the right hand side is now this kind of marquee layout. So instead of the transparent logo, it's a marquee. So you can see there's a lot of artwork that goes into this behind the scenes, all the different views, etc. And then lastly, there's the wall. Double click that. Go back in. So this is quite a unique layout that I've not really seen before. So you go left and right, and you've got all the different cabinets, I guess, and then when you go up and down, you've got this, the same categories and systems that we had before. But also they're now vertical on the left hand side. And then when you stop on one, you then just go left and right. So you don't have to hit enter or anything to go into the actual system. You just go left and right, and it plays it all. So, I mean, I think personally, my favourite is probably the default. It's a bit boring. So if I double click that, put it through. Like I said, there's a whole bunch of other batch files in there. They're kind of pretty self-explanatory, but they can sort of turn off like the glass effect over the top. Things like the logos, there's different sets of logos for the arcade stuff. I think I've got one set to artistic at the moment. But yeah, a whole bunch of stuff in here about swapping out bezels and all that kind of stuff. So, but you can look more into that if you want to change those. And you notice in the root as well, you've got a couple of batch files in here about. So if you mess up your controller, you can double click this and it will reset the defaults. And then also the same for the actual system itself. If you try messing around with stuff and break stuff, you've got a batch file there which will reset it for you, which is really pretty handy. Right, so now we've got it back to standard. Have a quick proper look through. Like I say, we've got all the systems, we've got all the different genres here. So you'll see the difference if I go into, say, one of the arcade systems. Like I say, you've got all the different logos and the arcade cabinets on the other side, which change. But then if you go to an actual console system, it's not arcade, so let's go for Amiga. So you get the same thing, but obviously the picture on the left stays the same, obviously because it's a console, it's not an arcade, so there's no cabinet with it, but it's still got all the various artwork on the right hand side behind the wheel as you scroll through. This looks, the amount of artwork and the effort that goes into this is amazing. So Commodore 64, pretty much the same. The old Boulder Dash when I'm playing that when I was young. So yeah, there's loads in here. 3DS as well is included. You see there's a whole bunch of games in here. And you'll see for here you've got 11 games. So you look in the bottom right hand corner, so these are the number of games you've got. So obviously what it isn't is a complete set for every single system, because it has to be huge. And again, for N64 you've got 44, so it's basically showing kind of like, I guess they've kind of got the best of games, kind of the best collection. free system, the most popular games, which in my books are pretty good. Because even though you've got some systems got hundreds, some systems got thousands of games, I mean, some of them are going to be rubbish. You never heard of them, you're never going to play them. So, in my opinion, much better just have the cream of the crop, have the best ones in there. So, like I said, I've downloaded all the add-on packs. So here's GameCube, which is another add-on pack which you can add. Wii as well, another pack you can add. So all the games for Wii. But yeah, they do have some PC games as well. Because obviously this is Windows based, so there's Outrun. There's also Street Fighter 4. So it will, and also you can add in more games if you want to. So you can add in your own PC games you've got installed on the PC, which is I think the nice thing about running on Windows. You can add other Windows-based or PC-based games in. And like I say, it goes right up to PlayStation 3. And these are the games that after it's probably only a retail game. All the others I think are kind of PlayStation Network games. But yeah, it's got a whole bunch already added in, and there is an add-on pack which I'm currently downloading. But it's roughly 300 gig in size, so it's going to take a little while on my connection. But yeah, so this is it. I think it's run really well. So what I'm going to probably do is put this into my arcade cabinet, but that has just got arcade sticks and buttons. So some of these, like the PlayStation, probably Dreamcast, that kind of stuff, aren't really suitable for it because obviously a lot of them have got more buttons. They've got the analog sticks. They've got the triggers on their controllers. So what I'm going to probably do is use this, but maybe hide these systems. So basically use it. So I'll just have all the arcade stuff, obviously, but then some of the older systems like the NES and SNES and Mega Drive and Master System, and basically all the systems that would work on the arcade sticks. So yeah, I think that'll make a really nice arcade system. So, and then I don't know the time to do it, but if you leave it for long enough unattended, it will go into a track mode and it will start spinning through some of the systems, going through the games. Just so it doesn't just sit there like this. It actually, it's almost like a screensaver, I guess, isn't it? Go into a track mode, and just to catch the eye, I guess. Not so it's sitting there static. The only last thing to mention was on the left-hand side, you see you've got a couple of icons there. You've got all, which is basically showing everything, but then you can go down to just show your favourites. So you can add in each section, you can just show your favourite games. To be honest, the other ones I'm not quite sure. I think that's handhelds. Yeah, so that's only showing the handheld systems. This one, I think this might just be Nintendo. No, just consoles. Possibly. I think so. Looks like it anyway. And then this one, I believe, is just arcade. Like I say, if I put it in my arcade cabinet, I could just have it on this setting, and so it only shows you arcade stuff, which is quite handy. And then so the top one, this is kind of like computer systems that kind of you may need a mouse for. So left hand side, like I say, I wasn't too sure what they were. I don't think I could find the documentation on them, but yeah, that's pretty much what it is. It's the top one is computer, shows only computer systems. This one is only arcade. This one is everything. This one is just your favourites. This one is the consoles, and this one is the handheld devices. So yeah, it's quite simple in the layout, but it's really effective. Works really well. Obviously there's a settings one here as well. This is where you can, like I say, the track mode, turn it on and off, toggle off the background music. The glass effect is kind of like there's an overlay over the top of glass. I think I turned it off because I was running on another system which it slowed down a little bit, so I turned it off. And then there's things like the logos for arcade, whether they're kind of chrome based or artistic based. Then you can turn the bezels on and off. Scan lines you can turn on and off. The splash screen when it loads, that kind of stuff. So you can do some customization in there. But yeah, all in all, just a really amazing system. So much artwork. It's just really slick. It's almost like it's almost like hyperspin on steroids. Obviously, I've used hyperspin in the past, which at the time was this similar layout with the wheel on the right hand side and all the different graphics, and that was amazing. But when you go back and look at hyperspin now, it does look very dated. It feels very clunky, whereas this is very slick, very nice. But yeah, that was my quick walkthrough CoinOps Collections. Yeah, really impressed. I really like it. So yeah, if you want to have a look and see other bits and pieces they do, like I say, this is CoinOps Collections. They have other builds, as they call them. There's ones that are more focused on arcade. One called Insert Coin, one called Focus. There's Arcade Legends 4, I believe it is. There's a few others. But this is kind of, I think CoinOps Collections is kind of the latest one and definitely the biggest one. But yeah, the way to have a look is they've got a Discord server where they've got all the information about the builds. All the support happens through there as well, and that'll tell you where to go and download all the stuff from as well. It's all completely free to download and run. So yeah, really worth checking out. I'll leave the link to their Discord in the description. But yeah, hopefully you found that useful. Like I say, I'm really enjoying it, so it's going to go in my arcade cabinet. Yeah, leave any feedback, any comments. Please like the video if you liked it, and it'd be really helpful if you could subscribe as well. Trying to get the numbers up. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time.